Over 40 years ago, John Hepworth was studying to become a Catholic priest, but his calling became a nightmare when he says he was repeatedly raped by 3 priests.
I sought friendship from a couple of priests. I was very much a loner in the early years, and instead of that, it developed into walking on a beach and wrestling and undressing and so on. And I was extremely weak by then.
2 of the priests allegedly involved have since died, and claims against them have been settled by the Melbourne Archdiocese. However, the 3rd priest named by John Hepworth still runs a parish in South Australia. Last night, the independent Senator Nick Xenophon threatened to name the priest unless the Archdiocese of Adelaide stood him down.
And right now, there are parents and sending their children to church unaware that their priest in their parish has been named as an abuser.
But the Adelaide Archdiocese refused to remove him and said in a statement today that it was shocked and dismayed that Senator Xenophon had ignored their pleas.
The priest concerned has categorically denied the allegation and has been a person of good standing in the Archdiocese for a very long time. Together with the fact that the allegation relates to an incident which occurred nearly 50 years ago when Archbishop Hepworth was a priest in his mid-20s, our legal advice was, and still is, that any decision to suspend the priest concerned would be unjustifiable as a matter of canon and civil law. We also reiterate that Archbishop Hepworth has been encouraged on several occasions to report the matter to the police, but has decided not to do so.
Although he was originally trained as a Catholic priest, today John Hepworth is the head of an Anglican church grouping which wants to reunite with Rome. He says that even though the rape case is decades old, it can still be dealt with.
Well, it's 40-something years on, and it's I was 43rd anniversary of my ordination the other day, so it's 40 years on. And obviously it's my story against his story, and that's the great difficulty. I'm a bishop who deals with sex abuse cases. I know about dealing with these cases and how hard it is. I have that sympathy with the church. And I wasn't looking for convictions and things. I was looking to be understood as to why I left.
Senator Xenophon also criticised senior Catholic Church official Monsignor David Capo from the Archdiocese of Adelaide for failing to act when the abuse was reported 4 years ago.
But despite being told of the abuse in 2007 and receiving a detailed 6-page statement in March 2008, David Capo told John Hepworth this year that the investigation was still at, quote, a preliminary stage, because, incredibly, he claimed John had not lodged a formal complaint.
The federal government appointed Monsignor Capo to lead its new Mental Health Commission, and Senator Xenophon now wants a review. But the government is sticking by Monsignor Capo. Tonight, a spokeswoman for the Minister for Mental Health and Ageing said,
"Given his background and expertise, Monsignor David Capo AO was the obvious choice to lead the Mental Health Commission. These are serious allegations that are currently under investigation by the Catholic Church, but have not been reported to the police. The government would encourage anyone who has been abused to report the matter to the police to enable a full and appropriate investigation to occur."
Archbishop John Hepworth says that Monsignor Capo failed to take action when he told him of the rapes in 2007.
I think I began to be frustrated when I wrote to Archbishop Wilson asking him to take my case to Rome. He wrote back saying he would, and then we met with Monsignor Capo and asked him when would the Archbishop write to us telling us what happened, and he said we don't write that sort of letter, and the communications became difficult.
But in a statement tonight, the Archdiocese of Adelaide said the church did not ignore John Hepworth's allegations, and the investigation which is proceeding was delayed because Archbishop Hepworth failed to formalise his complaint until February this year. A short time ago, Senator Xenophon named the priest as Monsignor Ian Dempsey, a parish priest based in the Adelaide suburb of Brighton.
The allegations are serious. They are made by a man with credibility, and they have not been appropriately acted upon by the Catholic Church in South Australia. The people of the Brighton parish have a right to know that for 4 years allegations have been outstanding that priest Ian Dempsey raped John Hepworth, and that church leadership has failed to make appropriate inquiries into this matter, and that church leadership has failed to stand this priest down as a matter of course while inquiries take place.
Lateline attempted to contact Monsignor Dempsey but was unable to obtain a response. John Stewart, Lateline.